UFC 301. This is the weigh-in recap show, full card predictions, and the betting breakdown. I'm really excited to talk about each of the matchups after seeing the fighters on the scales. So make sure you guys smash the like button. If you're new, subscribe. Turn the post notifications on and make sure you share the video as well. And also note, Fight Companion live Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Don't miss it. Live for the full card, UFC 301. It's going to be a lot of fun. And let's get into our first fight of the night. We have Alexandre Costa versus Kevin Borjas. I have been picking Alexandre Costa to secure a competitive fight win. I don't think this is an easy matchup against Borjas by any means. He's a pretty game test for Costa, but I believe Costa has the physicality edge and an advantage in the grappling. Borjas from the mid and long range kickboxing is going to be dangerous, but I think Costa puts the pressure on him, closes the gap, secures some takedowns, secures some control, and also lands some big punches in the fight and gets it on the cards. Now, looking at the scales, let's check these fighters out. We're going to look at them face to face, but we're also going to check them out, just how they weighed in and how they looked. All right, so we'll say something. Costa, flyweight, absolutely jacked and looks ready to go. He's a Brazilian savage. Now, on the other side, we have Kevin Borjas, who's rocking a new signature red stripe in his hair. Listen, I respect him trying to channel some inner God of War style, but to me, he looks a lot more like Claude from Zohan, the flamboyant hairdresser who was the co-star in the movie, than he does the God of War. This is him right here. Are you telling me this isn't identical? This is what we're looking at. Borjas is giving off a different vibe. He's doing some hairdressing on the side, I guess. I know he was trying to look badass, but immediately this is what I saw. Now, as far as the actual face-off for the fight, in all seriousness, we'll check them out going face-to-face. I think that it's going to be a scrap. I mean, the face-off doesn't really change my opinion. This is a really good fight between two up-and-coming flyweights that I think have bright UFC futures. I think Costa gets it on the card still. I'm not going to stray away from the pick, but Borjas, a little bit bigger, a little taller, look good and intense on the scale. But in Brazil, and even Costa said to him, you hear that? The crowd was going, ooh, vamos, hey, that's going to be you. And I like the badass moment. I think Costa is going to get it done. I think he is going to win it on the scorecards. I think it's a competitive fight, but Costa does enough to win. And I mean, it's crazy, right? Because Costa's last fight is a loss to Steve Erceg, who's fighting in the main event of this very card for the belt. Looking at the odds, near even money. We got minus 120 for Costa with Borjas at plus 100. I'm picking Costa to win. Now, it's expected to go under 2.5 at minus 120, but I have a hard time seeing a finish here. I don't think Costa's weak with the chin. I don't think Borjas a scrub on the ground. I think that Costa gets it on the cards. I'm going to say we go over at minus 110. Very close money favorite is Alexandre Costa. Now looking at decision win for Costa, which is the official call, it's plus 275. Not all over that bet, though. I do think Costa wins, but I recognize a game test that he has in front of him. Good fight to start the night off. Exciting flyweights, and I'm excited to find out who takes it. Let's keep running up. Next fight on the card, we have Ismael Bonfim versus Vinc Pichel. I think Bonfim wins the fight. I mean, if he doesn't knock a 41-year-old Pichel out, the whole Bonfim hype train is more than derailed. It's over for him. I think they're sending him back to working in a Brazilian factory. I don't think he's going to be fighting in the UFC anymore. He should dust Pichel within the first 2 rounds, and this is not a close affair in the striking realm. Now, let's check them out on the scales. We'll see how these savages are looking here. Bear with me as I slide through some of the picks. We don't have it in perfect order, but we're going to have everybody brought up. You see Bonfim looking like an absolute savage. Kind of when you look closely at him, looks a bit like a lemur. I don't know, gives me a King Julian vibe with the eyes at least. But yo, the physique is there. He's got the muscle tissue. He's obviously going to be strong defensively and grappling. Not that I expect a grappling fight here, but hypothetically, In the stand-up, though, he's knocking out a 41-year-old Pichel. Listen, Pichel for 41, though, looks incredibly jacked. Like, I got to give credit where it's due to the OG. A little bit rat-like mustache, though. I honestly would recommend he take a razor to it or just grow out the full beard. But in all actuality, he's closer to the nursing home than he is to his fighting prime. And that's just the truth to be told here in this matchup. Now, as far as a face-off between these guys, let's check it out. Let's bring it up. Let's look at these guys going nose to nose, or at least damn close to it. Maybe a little too close. No, they weren't too close. They kept some decent distance. Intensity was there. Listen, Bonfim should win by knockout. Nothing about the scales is changing any opinion. Pichel's not here to just lay down, but he's going to be forced down with a big shot. Bonfim by KO. And if it doesn't go that way, I'm telling you, that's a massive upset. Odds would agree. Minus 600 for Bonfim. He's a disgustingly wide favorite. Pichel's a plus 425 underdog. I don't think he's a dog coming to bite and bark. Now, the over 1.5 is minus 245. I guess they're expecting a calculated first round from Bonfim. I think we get a win for Bonfim by knockout. I think he's live in the first 2 rounds. KO is plus money at plus 165. And inside distance is sitting at plus 100 for Bonfim. We'll quickly glance at some method of victory wins. Bonfim has 9 knockout wins, opposite 4 wins via submission. I don't know how likely it is that he's going to end up tapping Pichel out. And Pichel is like historically pretty durable, but he's been submitted before. I think Bonfim is going to KO him, though. I'm going Bonfim by knockout as the official prediction in this fight, in a battle of 2 fighters that are just in opposite ends of their career points. Let's keep running. Next fight on the card, ladies going after it here. It's Dione Barbosa versus Ernesto Kareckaite. I've been picking Dione Barbosa to get the win using her grappling strength, which I think is going to be a substantial factor when these 2 ladies actually face off. Now, as far as checking them out on the scales, let's find these ladies. Where is Dione Barbosa hiding from us? I know she's right around the corner here. We got Ernesto Kareckaite, who made it up first, so we'll zoom into her. Honestly, looked really jacked. I was impressed by her physique. I think she looks real good and ready to rock. Like, no hate, nothing bad to say about her. She's pretty lean, pretty jacked, and she's a dangerous kickboxer with a clear height advantage in this fight. Now, Barbosa on the other side, she's flexing that bicep. She's got a hell of a peak. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. This is danger zone for the striker. Kareckaite is a kickboxer, and she's taken on just a way more well-rounded MMA fighter, at least specifically in the grappling. And I know Kareckaite has the nickname of heavy-handed, but I'm yet to believe that she has the punching power. I don't think that's what comes to fruition. I don't think there's no heavy-handed knockout. I think Barbosa gets a hold of her in Brazil and gives her a bit of a grappling lesson here. There is Barbosa. There is Kareckaite. Now, I don't know. Kareckaite looked in such good shape. My confidence in a finish, I think, has dwindled a bit on Barbosa, who I initially called by submission. I feel a little worse about it. Now, it's minus 230 for Barbosa, plus 196 for Kareckaite. The over is minus 205. If you were going to go submission, it's plus 180 for Barbosa. On the opposite end decision, plus 135. I do think Barbosa gets control of Kareckaite, controls her on the ground, has substantial grappling moments, and I think wins the fight. Barbosa by submission was the official pick earlier in the week, but Kareckaite looked really, really in shape. So that alone could at least allow her to survive. Big height difference, obviously, we saw, but I think Barbosa is going to have this on the ground. And when they're grappling, the height advantage and the reach advantage is not going to mean all that much. So expect Barbosa to look to take this fight down within the first 2 minutes or so here. Barbosa for the W, the official call between these 2 ladies, but decision or submission. A little less confidence on the straight submission line as, you know, opposed to earlier in the week pre-weigh-in. Next fight on the card, we have Mauricio Ruffy versus Jamie Mullarkey. I'm actually hyped to see Mauricio Ruffy. I was a little bit concerned initially with how he was going to look at 55. Well, the dude came looking jacked and made weight without much issue. We're going to check him out on the scales. Obviously, I picked Ruffy by knockout. Everybody's calling Ruffy by knockout, I'd assume. If you are a Jamie Mullarkey believer, you're part of the Mullarkey's witnesses, please let me know in the comments right now, because I think you are one of a kind. You might need to get some, psychiatric care. Let's check out the scales for these two. All right. Where's our boy at? Okay. Let's see who we find first between these two. I got this whole sheet pretty memorized here. I'm mesmerized by the picks, though, but a little bit on point. Just sometimes these fighters get away from me. You know what I'm saying? There's Jamie Mullarkey. Here's our guy. Jamie Mullarkey. Listen, Jamie Mullarkey here looks okay. Listen, he's definitely not made for modeling, but unfortunately that chin's looking more and more delicate as these days go by, and I think he's in trouble by, the big fist of Ruffy. He could be smashed. He could be flatline KO'd. I think there's a real possibility that happens. Now, we must have already passed Ruffy. I don't know, he blended in somehow. There's a lot of Brazilians on these cards. Not saying they all look alike, okay? I'm not saying that. But, there's some similarities. There we go. There's our boy Ruffy. Let's pull up the pic of him looking more savage. The Jack Savage. The Conor McGregor comparisons are looking more accurate. I mean, he's looking kind of like a Brazilian Conor McGregor at this point. The striking comparisons are definitely there too. And I'm pretty hyped to see what he can do here at 155 against a guy who's historically a little bit chinny. I think Ruffy's going to dust him. Brutal KO. Now, as far as the face-offs between these two, let's bring it up. Let's check out this face-off. Let's check out these savages going face-to-face. Boom. There it is. Intensity is high. Intensity is high. I think that Jamie Mullarkey is getting dusted. I respect him coming in, but come on. That is McGregor-esque. If you don't think Ruffy has a similar frame, style, and movement pattern to McGregor, I think you're lying to yourself. He's got the Brazilian McGregor style. If Jamie Mullarkey wins, you're never going to see him again. He's going to go disappear into hiding or something like that. Not going to happen. Ruffy, knockout, Ruffy-ing him. He's putting him to sleep, and he's taking advantage of him. That's what we're going to see from Ruffy in this fight, doing exactly what the drug does. Now, as far as the odds, we got plus 190 for Mullarkey. He ain't going to win. He's full of Mullarkey. No shot. Minus 225 for Ruffy. If he was plus money, I mean, he would have been the lock of the year here. What do we got? Over 1.5 is minus 155. It could end earlier. Ruffy to win via KO, minus 125. I don't even think that's a crazy line. I think it could have been minus 175. Ruffy, knockout. I'm telling you, bro, Ruffy is like the drug, bro. He's putting you to sleep and taking advantage of you. That's what Jamie Mullarkey's going to be dealing with. And it's not going to end well. Ruffy, destruction. Demolition. Let's keep running. Next fight on the card, we have Joaquim Silva versus Drakkar Klose. Now, throughout the week, I have been picking Drakkar Klose to win a Drakkar Klose style of fight. If you don't know what a Drakkar Klose style of fight is, let me quickly explain it to you. It's pressure from him. It's a little bit of sloppy striking. It's him outworking his opponents and getting decisions against guys who on paper look better, but he just finds ways to win. Drakkar Klose, at times, an annoying style, and definitely an annoying style to bet against, especially if you're feeling hype on Neto BJJ, who's an absolutely stacked underdog, and I get why people would be excited about him. Now, let's check them out on the scales here. Let's look at these savages going face to face. We'll look for whoever comes up first, to be honest with you. There is Drakkar Klose. Got a smile on his face. Seems happy to be there. Excited to fight. Looks in pretty typical shape. Drakkar Klose is ready to go. All right, Drakkar Klose. On the opposite side, we got Joaquim Silva, who looks pretty damn savage. Looks ready to kill. Absolutely stacked. I won't lie to you. I don't know why I don't like Drakkar Klose. I don't know if it's a mannerisms thing. I don't know if I have the intuition that in real life he's a douche. Maybe he's a nice guy, and maybe I'm wrong. I'd actually like to interview him to find out for myself. So, Drakkar, if you're watching, hit your boy up. Let's look at the face-to-face, okay? Let's see them going nose-to-nose. All right. See, Drakkar Klose, even the mannerism in this, it annoyed me. I won't lie to you guys.
if there's one pick that I'm hoping to be wrong, is this one. I'm not going to pick flip, okay? I'm not saying magically I'm going Joaquim Silva, but he looks in great shape. Drakkar Klose, aggravating, I don't know, mannerisms and antics, a little bit cocky. I guess that's the word. I would love to see Joaquim Silva flatline him and, do what Beneil Dariush did to him, but Drakkar Klose is good at winning fist fights. And forget about emotions, forget about fanfare. Klose probably grinds a decision out in a sloppy affair, and that is what I'm going to officially predict. Now, minus 185 for Drakkar Klose. Joaquim Silva is plus 160, and over rounds is minus 245 for over 1.5. That makes a lot of sense. And then Drakkar Klose to win by decision, plus 180. Joaquim Silva for a win inside distance, if you are thinking to play the other side, plus 280. Can you imagine he clobbers him with a big punch? I don't know, man. He wasn't impressive against Clay Guida, and I don't think he's going to be impressive against Drakkar Klose. Neto BJJ looks really impressive, but actual fighting skill, not as good. Not saying he's a bad fighter, okay? I'm not saying he's a bad fighter, but he's not that good. Drakkar Klose, not as impressive physically, and definitely doesn't have the most technical style, and sometimes comes in with that chin up high. Doesn't matter. He seems to outwork guys. The dude's got a heavy pace, and he's got a lot of heart, and I think he's got the will to win this one. So we're going with Drakkar Klose for the W. Obviously, I'm not overly enthused about that fight. Let's keep on running up. Elves Brener versus Mitabek Orolbai. Listen, bro. Mitabek Orolbai for the W has been the pick all week. I think he bullies Elves Brener in the grappling and is perfectly fine on the feet. I've seen some Brener believers out there that have said, oh, he's going to knock out Orolbai. When has Orolbai shown weakness in his chin? Come on, man. Don't lie to yourself. Oh, Uros Medic hit him with clean punches. What's Brener going to do? Elves Brener lost his debut to Zubaira Tuhugov, who's horrible. Granted, he got the controversial decision win, but since that point, I have never understood the hype on him. He was losing to Garam, and he broke him and caught him with a big shot. Now, to be fair, Elves Brener had an impressive win against Kainan Khrushchevsky, who turned out to be a complete bust of a Dana White's Contender Series prospect. I think Mitabek Orolbai wins this fight pretty cleanly. 30-27, all rounds, high confidence call. I think that you could call him a lock of the week. We'll talk about the new lock at the end, okay? We'll talk about it. Mitabek Orolbai and Brener, let's look at them on the scales. Does anything change? Does Mitabek Orolbai look bad on the scale? So he looks like he's got difficulty coming in. We have Mitabek Orolbai on the scale here. Let's really give him a deep dive. Let's give him a heavy glance here, okay? He doesn't look fully human, in my opinion, and he's definitely got some Neanderthal blood. I feel like that should give him a pretty serious strength edge, because the dude, he's not human. He's not fully human. I don't buy it. Now, on the opposite side of things, we got Elves Brener, who I got to give a more respectable zoom into. The elf himself, Elves Brener. You know, to me, he's got that like template UFC 4 creative face. I don't know if you guys are seeing it. A watered down Charles Oliveira. If he wasn't training at Shoot the Box Diego Lima's gym, I promise none of you guys would be picking him. It's just because he trains with Olives. You guys are fans of him. But listen, a guy like Orolbai, Muslim fighters tend to beat Shoot the Box Diego Lima, guys. Sorry to tell you. And it's going to happen here too. Orolbai all day, bro. Orolbai all day. Okay, let's check out the face-offs, though. How do they look face-to-face? Maybe something changed in me. No, it ain't gonna. I'll spoil it right now. I don't care. All right, let's look at the face-to-face. Are you kidding me? Look at the shine on Orolbai. Look at him. Just look. The universe is telling you who the lock is this card, guys. And it's right there. Mitabek Orolbai, dominant win. And I think this dude's going to be a contender. Elves Brenner's got no shot. Not happening. No, no, no. Like Mutombo said, no, no, no. It ain't happening, bro. It ain't happening. Mitabek Orolbai is a minus 250 favorite with Elves Brener at plus 210. And he deserves to be that big of a favorite. Over is minus 165. I am going to officially call decision. Money line is wide, but the chalky locky is in action here. Orolbai by decision, plus 135. If he finished Brener, that'd be impressive because he's never been finished. I think Submission is not super likely. Ground and pound, not super likely. I think Mitterbeck Orolbai takes out Elves Brener by a decision. That's going to be my official pick in this one. The money line's a tad bit wide, but it's going to hit. So Orolbai for the W over Elves Brener in a fight that I'm damn excited for. Let's keep on running. Next fight on the card. Ladies going after it. We got Karolina Kowalkiewicz versus Iasmin Lucindo. Now, I have been picking the side of Lucindo throughout the whole week. I think she gets a 30-27 win. She should be able to outwork Kowalkiewicz, fend off grappling attacks, outstrike her on the feet. If she loses this fight, that would be the fumble of all fumbles. I just don't see it. I don't think it's possible, actually. Let's find Lucindo here. I think she's a little bit higher up. Let's find our girl. Look at Lucindo. Absolute savage, butch, Brazilian strength. The neck tat, the shaved sides. Come on. Lucindo's a good fighter. Lucindo's a good fighter. Not that Kowalkiewicz wasn't at one point. She's like looking more like a friend of my mother's than she is a UFC contender now. And let's be honest, it's the truth, guys. Come on. There is Kowalkiewicz. Let's bring up the face-off. Let's see how they look going nose to nose, face to face. Does anything shift? Does anything change? But we got to shrink this down. Holy shit, we're overly zoomed in. Boom. There we go. There's the ladies facing off. I'll keep moving for excitement, to build some anticipation. I think that Lucindo wins a 30-27 decision, and it's not that Kowalkiewicz is a bad fighter or anything like that. She was solid at one time, and she's still tough. It's just she's 38. Like, she could be the 16 and pregnant mother of Lucindo, and I think it's just Lucindo's time now. Now, Lucindo's a wide favorite, minus 400. Kowalkiewicz sitting at plus 300. I think Kowalkiewicz gets it done. Should I zoom into the odds a little more? I probably should. It's a bad habit of mine for not, so apologies if it's hard to see. Lucindo to win, minus 400. Over is minus 225, probably. Lucindo decision win, minus 105, probably that too. That's how I see the fight playing out. I think Lucindo gets it done on the cards, goes out, wins the decision, and I'm pretty damn excited for this fight either way, though. I think these girls are actually going to bring some heat, and the way Lucindo throws flurrying shots, I like to watch it, and I think she's got some future, man. I really believe it. At 22, her skill set is really nice, so keep your eye on Lucindo. Let's keep moving. Next fight on the card, it is our featured prelim of the night. We have Joanderson Brito versus Jack Tank Shore. Now, earlier in the week, guys, some of you might be closing your ears as I'm about to say this. I picked Jack Shore, and I know some of you guys are screeching. You might be throwing your phone. You might be telling me, to go F off. You're like, what is this delusion that he's on? Wait a second. I picked Jack Shore, but also with the anticipation he would develop a more legitimate 145-pound frame. I have searched through the Instagram, and I try to see if he posted any physique updates. He wasn't. So I was like, hey, maybe he's hiding the magic. He was 17-1. Like, okay, I got to take strength and conditioning seriously because Jack Shore is skinny fat. Joanderson Brito on the other side look like a damn killer. So let's look at these guys on the scales here, and let's see if anything changes. It might, okay? It might. All right. Where is the first one? Joanderson Brito. Okay, here is Brito on the scale. My God. He looks like he belongs in a damn cage. The dude is absolutely jacked. The tattoos are scary too, and honestly, I'd be terrified to stand in the cage against him. Specifically Brito over most other MMA fighters. He looks like he might bite my head off or something, man. He's got like some chimpanzee in him or something. The strength, the savagery. I think Jack Shore might be feeling the same. Now, we got to find Jack Shore. Where's he hiding? I wouldn't blame him for dipping out and not showing up tomorrow. Now, I don't think this picture does justice how skinny fat Jack Shore looks. To me, he looks like a skinny, fat, less flamboyant version of Elton John, to be 100% with you guys. So my confidence has dwindled substantially seeing that Jack Shore has continued to not take strength and conditioning seriously, and he's taking on one of the best and well-conditioned up-and-coming guys in the 45-pound division. Like, he looks like he's 18 and he plays video games majority of the day. Like, he has a skinny, fat physique. There is no muscle on his frame. I'm flipping the pick, okay? I won last week with a pick flip. I'm doing it here. If somehow Jack Shore wins, nothing makes sense. I don't see it. Look at this fucking face-off. Jack Shore looks like a child. Look at the arms on Jack Shore versus Brito. This is a different matchup. Jack Shore, lose some weight, get back down to 35. I'm changing my mind. I said the jab is going to work. Yeah, the jab is going to work. Jack Shore's going to jab him, and Brito's going to walk through it like he got hit by a fucking paper clip. And then he's going to clobber Jack Shore, and I think he's probably going to end up knocking him out or submitting him. I'm flipping to a finish call for Joe Anderson Brito, because that is the truth here. I didn't see it earlier. I was delusional. I was delirious. Now I got my head on straight. Elton John's son ain't taking out, I don't know, looks like a convict in fucking Joe Anderson Brito. He's been working on the prison yards. Holy shit. Yeah, this fight ain't fair. Jack Shore, the bad haircut didn't help him either, man. Holy shit. Plus 163 for Jack Shore. If you bet him as a dog, and cash it out, I think, because he looks like he's fucked. Brito on the other side, minus 188. Give me Brito all day. Inside distance, Brito is going to be the official call. Plus 120, minus 105. Write it down in your notebooks. Brito inside distance. He's probably going to rock Jack Shore and then potentially sub him or just pound his face in. If Jack Shore does somehow come through and win, and my initial instinct was on point, then I don't know. The world's not going to make any sense. I don't know. I do think he can land some jabs. And like initially why I picked him is because I expected him to be more technical and being able to keep Brito away. But the fact that I'm worried about him having zero punching power and no strength to compete in the grappling entanglements, I think I'm delirious to pick Jack Shore after seeing them on the scales. It just makes no sense, bro. He looks like an 18-year-old gamer taking on a fighter. This is just not going to go well. So Brito, I'm flipping to his side. Give me him. I know a lot of you guys in the fucking comments are going to be like, yeah, we got him. We told you all week. No, it's not because of you, all right? All right, give yourself a little credit. You know, give yourself a little credit. But it's not just that. It's the scales, man. The scales tell all. And Jack Shore ain't winning. He ain't winning. He ain't winning, bro. All right, let's keep running up. Let's get to our main card opener. If you guys haven't yet, make sure you smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. We got Paul Craig versus Caio Borralho. Obviously, I've been picking Borralho to win. I think he can get a decision over Paul Craig, outwork him in every position, touch him up in the striking. Borralho hasn't really shown a ton of punching power, so I'm not ready to jump on the knockout call. A submission win over Paul Craig for Borralho would do major things for his career. I just don't personally love the chance of finish, but super high confidence on Borralho. Like, how does he not win this fight against a Paul Craig? Come on. Come on. In Brazil, this is a setup. This is a setup. All right. Where is Paul Craig? He's getting brought up first. Paul Craig, you were up to bat, my man. Paul Craig, what do I have to say about him? Well, I don't think blonde Paul Craig is much of a mythical fighter. I really don't think the look suits him. He kind of looks like a bearded version of Sacha Baron Cohen's Bruno. And I don't think this weekend is assholes just for shitting, especially after Caio Borralho gets done with them. Let's look at Borralho real quick, okay? Look at Borralho out here. Absolute jacked monster. The tattoo on the neck, free spirit. I mean, how do you not pick him? It would be delusional of me not to. I think that he's going to win. I think that it is big trouble. Borralho's a Brazilian savage who's got a fight or die tattoo, and I really believe he's on his way to sodomizing Paul Craig this Saturday night. Like, he's going to whoop his ass, man, in more ways than one. I really think so. Oh, my gosh. I really think he's going to put it on him. So we're going with Caio Borralho. The asshole ain't just for shitting this weekend, Paul Craig. Unfortunately, I think sodomy's coming. And I think it's Borralho doing some fucking damage, my man. Doing some real damage. All right, let's look at the odds for this fight. Minus 600 for Caio Borralho. Plus 425 for Paul Craig. Borralho's a big favorite, as he should be. Why wouldn't he be a big favorite? Does Decision, Borralho, plus 180. The official call. Submission, plus 260. Knockout, plus 180. Unfortunately, you're kind of stuck in Shitsville, USA. I think we go over a round and a half at minus 200. I think Borralho becomes like a high confidence parlay piece. He's not losing to Paul Craig. He's not losing to a Bruno-looking Paul Craig. You know, in Bruno, when he played Straight Dave at the end of the movie, and he's like, my asshole's just for shitting. This is what Paul Craig reminds me of completely going into Saturday, and he ain't going to win this fight. It ain't just for shitting. Caio Borralho for the win, and I think he's a good prospect, man. Good contender on the come-up. Repping Brazil heavy. Let's keep running. Next fight on the card, we have Michel Pereira versus Ihor Potieria. I've been picking Michel Pereira all week, as most of you are, as most of you should. I don't think many of you are going to flip that side and lose focus. I mean, come on. Michel Pereira should win. Like, he should go out there and dust them up. Should be pretty much one-way traffic throughout the whole thing. And I think Pereira knocks him out in the first round. We will check the Savages out in the scales and see if anything changes. I'll hint it to you. It ain't, but it's at least worth looking at the fighters on the scales. We got to at least give him a glance. Michel Pereira, obviously he's been winning fights, so he's got those new veneers with the win money. I respect it. The dude looks good. I like the overly white teeth. And then we have Ihor Potieria, who has a whole cathedral painted on his damn chest, the windows of the cathedral. He's a good Catholic, man, and I respect him a lot for it. I respect his faith, but unfortunately, God's not in his favor coming this Saturday. I think he's dealing with a demonic Brazilian striker who is going to possess him on Saturday night. This is going to be one-way traffic. Not a competitive fight. Knockout win. It shouldn't be much of a difficult fight. Like, it should be first round, maybe early second, but it's one-way traffic all day. I don't see the fight playing out any other way. Now, as far as the betting lines for the fight, again, Pereira's another huge Brazilian favorite, minus 625, Potieria plus 450. Looking at it, the under is minus 160, probably. Knockout win, Pereira, minus 130. How is it only minus 130 when he's a minus 625 favorite? He's going to knock Potieria out for sure. So, give me Pereira. Give me KO. I think he absolutely dusts him. And yeah, there's levels to this damn fight game. And Michel Pereira is much better than Potieria. Granted, Potieria did beat the corpse of Shogun Rua some years ago, so Pereira's making him pay in Brazil for that. Justice will be served. All right, let's keep running. Let's get to our featured bout of the night. We got Anthony Smith versus Vitor Petrino. I obviously have been picking Vitor Petrino all week. Is anybody surprised by that? I think he's going to win by knockout. I know some people might be like, oh, actually, I think he's going to get a decision because he didn't win by knockout against Pedro. Throw the MMA math out the window. It's a wash version of Anthony Smith versus a Brazilian savage. The dude's a powerhouse, okay? We're going to check these guys out on the scales, and I'm telling you, I think that Petrino might be the most menacing guy in the UFC right now. Let's first see Anthony Lionheart Smith. Throughout the social medias, they've been calling him Piggy, which, you know, I think that's a little disrespectful, okay? Yes, Anthony Smith has some slight gyno here and probably is starting to suffer from low testosterone towards the end of his UFC career and kind of looks like an old, weathered ex-con, but I'm not going to call him Piggy. Come on, let's have a little respect for Anthony Smith. All jokes aside, Anthony Smith is past his prime. He had a great run, and he ended up fighting for the belt against John Jones, and he beat Alexander Gustafsson. He beat Volkan Oezdemir. There's very proud moments for Anthony Smith, but that's not this Anthony Smith. Since that home intrusion where that guy got the better of him, I'm telling you, he never came back the same. And I think that he's in serious trouble against Vitor Petrino. It's not going to play out nicely, okay? It's just not. Like, look at Vitor Petrino, bro. Vitor Petrino is the Chad of all Chads. I think he's the most chatted dude in the UFC right now. So, hey, Paulo Costa, move aside. Petrino's taking this place, man. The absolute alpha of alphas, man. I think he's going to go out there and knock out Anthony Smith. He's 26 years old. He seems to have devastating knockout power. Also has good grappling and control. I don't think Anthony Smith has the submission skills off the back at this point to stifle Petrino. I just don't see it, yo. I don't. Let's see them going face-to-face. Let's see what we got here. Let's look at the face-off. Let's go nose-to-nose. Let's go face-to-face. How are we looking with these face-offs? There's a lot of mutual respect, maybe. I don't know. Petrino looks like he knows he's fighting a weathered version of Anthony Smith, and he looks very confident in the face-off here. Yeah, Anthony Smith's getting knocked out, guys. It's not going to end well. As far as the odds, Petrino is minus 550. Smith is plus 400. Over 1.5 is minus 205. It could end earlier, but I see what the mentality is there. Petrino by knockout plus 100. Inside distance at minus 140. I'm going to predict that he does knock out Anthony Smith in the second round. I think he catches him with a devastating punch and absolutely flattens him. But the first round, I don't think Anthony Smith will look that awful. He's still got a little bit of fight left in him, but different moments in their careers. Petrino is developing. Bro, he's 26. Imagine him at 28. Terrifying. Terrifying. Petrino for the knockout. Let's get to our co-main event of the evening. We got Jonathan Martinez versus Jose Aldo. I respect Aldo for coming back, man. The twilight of his career, he's been doing boxing, but he said, listen, I want to get back in the cage. I have been picking Martinez throughout the whole week. I really believe this is going to be a lesser version of Jose Aldo. This isn't the primed Aldo that we're used to. I still think he's going to have some fight in him. I know he's been doing boxing, but boxing changes your style. Trust me on that. And I think Martinez gets a hard-fought decision win. Now, as far as the scales here, we'll check them out. We'll give him a look, and we'll see. Jonathan Martinez on the scale first. Jonathan Martinez is an interesting case, man, because the dude looks like the creepy, quiet kid who used to kill cats in school. I don't know. I think that that's the perfect type of mentality to fight against a Jose Aldo, just an absolute psychopath. Like, that's what we're looking at with Martinez. Now, Aldo on the other side, like I said, he got into boxing. He switched it up. And I just worry that that could be his downfall. He did need the box for the weigh-in, too. Because at the end of the day, these weight cuts are no joke. He's cutting a lot of weight here at 37. And I personally see the age on Aldo. You want to know something interesting? Earlier today, I was at the gym. I'm doing cardio. I'm looking up at the screen, and they're playing Aldo Chad Mendez. And I'm looking at Aldo now, and I'm looking at Aldo then, and I said, holy shit, he's aged. He's not winning. Decision for Martinez. Listen, every dog has its day. There comes a time where every fighter starts to slow down, and this is the time. Martinez by decision. The official call. Now I'll bring up the face-offs between our co-main event fighters for UFC 301. Let's check out this damn co-main event face-off. Boom, there it is. Martinez with the Brokeback Mountain hat. He looks like he just rode in. Holy shit, with the John Jones allegations going on, that could be a positive, to be honest. Aldo on the other side, looking intense per usual. I'm going with Jonathan Martinez with the cowboy hat. He's going to get it done. We're repping him. He pulls it off, man. Aldo is plus 128. Martinez minus 148. Over 2.5, minus 210. Let's see here. Martinez to win by a decision. Is there anything worth? I don't know. Do I really want to bet Martinez right now? No. Plus 135 Martinez decision. I feel like Martinez wins, but the over intrigues me more than the money line at minus 210, and I think the over is a parlayable piece here. Potentially. Maybe in a longer shot. We have some straight fighter parlays and a little over action at the end when we talk parlays. That is our co-main event, so, we got to keep running. We got more. We got our main event of the evening. It's Alexandre Pantoja versus Steve Erceg. If you guys haven't yet, smash the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Make sure you keep it locked in. I'm picking Steve Erceg to win. I'm silencing everybody. I think he's coming to Brazil, and he's taking out the flyweight champ. I've always felt Pantoja is beatable and overrated. He's good, but he's not incredible. He's not an all-time great in the flyweight division like some people are saying online. Steve Erceg has a tricky frame to deal with, a calculated style, and I think king of the nerds, dictator of the dweebs, Steve Erceg's taking it home, man. He's taking it home. I think he pulls this one off. Now, we'll look at the scales, and we'll see. We'll see if maybe there's some type of shift of momentum. But I'll tell you something. Steve Erceg always looks horrible on the scales. He's not an intimidating guy. A lot of you guys in the comments probably think you can kick Steve Erceg's ass. You couldn't, though. He might look beatable. The dude can fight. Let's look at Steve Erceg, okay? Let's just appreciate Steve Erceg on the scale. There he is. Look at Steve Erceg. About as average looking as it gets. The king of the average, man. And this fight here is one for the average dudes out there. Average Joes pulling it off with Steve Erceg. Even the name Steve, a Steve UFC champ, that makes perfect sense. Pantoja looked drained, though. He had a hell of a weight cut. It was no joke. Granted, he needed the box too, but, Pantoja's been doing heavy cuts for a while. It happens. He didn't know he was dying on the scale, so I don't want to over-exaggerate and push a false tale that he is going to lose because of the weight cut, because that's not at all what I'm saying. He's going to lose because Steve Erceg is better than him. And Steve Erceg, I think, is live to catch the chin. Club and sub is live here, but just money line it betting-wise. We'll talk the odds in a second. There is Steve Erceg. Look at the height advantage. Look at the arm length. Listen, I know the reach looks near identical, but Erceg is a narrow guy. He's still got some long arms. He's got good striking from range, especially with the hands. Pantoja's hittable coming inside. I think Erceg clubs him and subs him. That's my official call in this one. And there's the face-off. These two savages ready to go to war. I'm excited as hell to see it. Holy shit. I'm going Steve Erceg and new flyweight champ. Yeah, I got the dog here. Plus 158. Woo, woo. Pantoja, minus 183. He's in trouble. He's in trouble. I think he gets caught. Club and sub. And I think that he's going to do this is Erceg. I think he's going to do a damn good job fending off the grappling attacks. Pantoja comes out, wild, reckless flurries. Erceg is going to make him pay. Styles make the fights. And I'm telling you, Erceg's technicality equals success here in Brazil. Win for the nerds. Win for Steve Erceg. Let's look at the odds for some props here. Submission win for Erceg, plus 1,200. I think Steve can do it. I believe in him. He believes in himself. I'm going to be the world champ in the UFC. I really feel like this is the opportunity to finally deliver the performance of a lifetime for you guys. So I hope you tune into the show and really enjoy it. Steve Erceg for the win. And there's the impression of him. I got him here. I think he pulls it off, repping Australia beautifully. And we got an new champion in our main event, which is something that I'm very excited about. The Australians are feeling sorrow since Volkanovski took the L. They need success here. They need Steve Erceg's win. Steve Erceg in the main event. That is the 301 full card predictions, but we're not done just yet. Before we get to the parlays, there was a substantial moment. The lock of the week is gone. William Gomis, underdog, not fighting, looked near dead on the scale and walking like he's 95 years old. His fight got canceled, which as it should have. He also came in at 143. What's the logic there? What the hell is happening? So the lock is off. I'm going to go with my most confident pick as the lock. Forget about the chalky locky. It is what it is. I'm not going underdog. All right, I'm going to lock the most confident call. Maybe it's the universe's sign, even though I think Gomis was on his way to beating Gene Silva. Give me mid-to-back Orolbai post-weigh-ins. He ain't losing to Elves Brener, man. 10,000 BC for the victory. We're going mid-to-back Orolbai to win. Now, I'm not done with the show just yet. I want to talk about some parlays to play following the weigh-ins, okay? Mauricio Ruffy, another one. I almost called him the lock. He's a confident call, too. Ruffy's going to knock Mullarkey senseless. Believe me when I tell you this, okay? Believe me. Let's look here. Bonfim, if he loses, he retires. Ruffy, Bonfim. Those two to start the night off, you're in good for. Win. You want to add a little more steam? Because I know you guys got some balls, all right? Mid-to-back Orolbai, plus 148, the trifecta. I'm happy about this one. Wash the hands of it. Now, I know I didn't initially pick Brito, but if he doesn't beat Shore, I'm shocked. These favorites are all probably going to win. Michel Pereira's got a good shot to pull it off. Borralho's got a good shot, too. Somebody's going to say, don't do it with Borralho. Paul Craig's going to get him, so I'll leave it out for a second. I think these could all run it. I like the first three, though. I like the magical three, but these are confident goals. It's the wide-ass lines, man. Wide-ass lines. Over in the Aldo fight. Where we at? Boom. Steve Erceg. Erceg to pull it off in the main event. We're going to win the belt, guys, and I'm going to bring it to Australia, and they're going to be happy to see it. Plus 2,092. Yeah, this is really reckless, and I'm not necessarily suggesting you guys do it, and I probably should clean the slate off and do another one, but, I don't know. I got some good feelings. Like, I think Lucindo wins. Like, I'm trying to avoid just falling into the odds. Look at Lucindo. Look at Orolbai. You got minus 133. Okay, this should happen. If this doesn't happen, my goodness, I'd be shocked. Ruffy, plus 159. Oh, but Mullarkey scares me. Okay, if Mullarkey scares you, he is scary to look at. Plus 111. Bonfim, Orolbai, Lucindo, and you don't want to run the main card savagery up. Now, if you want to add some heat from the main card, you certainly can. But they're really wide. Borralho and Pereira, bro, they're bringing you up like 70 points. It ain't much. 72 points. Then you got to throw underdog in. Let's take them both off. Let's throw Brito. Boom. Plus 225. Aldo over. Give me that one. Boom. Plus 350. You got balls? You're swinging heavy shots. You could maybe go Ruffy by knockout, too. Go a little knockout prop in the lineup. If you got balls on Ruffy, he wins. There's ways we can do it, actually. I'm going to create the prop parlay real quick, all right? We're going to go Ruffy via knockout. Not telling you guys to back this substantially. And actually, I'm not telling you to back any of this. Do your own damn research. Don't just go in blind, please. We're going boom, Ruffy by KO. Okay, let's find our Bonfim inside the distance call. All right, I'm going to choose the plus 120, so it could be a little worse odds than this for you guys. Okay, plus 330. This is making a lot of sense. Let's ride with then the over here. Boom. Boom. Plus 495. Okay. And mid-to-back Orolbai plus 733. I'm feeling good about this one. Brito to win inside distance too. Why not? Let's just be fucking D-gens tonight. Let's have some fun here. Plus 1648. Fuck it. Boom. Boom. That's your savagery. The lock and all the savage calls. If you don't want the lock, you still got great plus money. But look at that. Screenshot it, baby. Do your own research before you just bet blindly. Be smart with betting. I hope you guys enjoyed this absolutely savage edition of the Weigh-In Recap Show. Much love to everybody watching. I appreciate you all. We're closing in on 31,000 subscribers, so I hope you guys are coming in droves and hitting that subscribe button. Make sure you smash the like button too. Let me know what you thought in the comments of the picks. And if you got nothing to say in the comments, but you enjoy the content, at the least, show your boy some love and drop a W in the chat to boost the algorithm. Also, guys, make sure your post notifications are turned on and don't just leave them on personalized. Put them on all so you don't miss a video, because I got daily content and live streams dropping on the channel and you don't want to miss a thing. Much love, my people, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.